Fire and medical emergencies can happen at any given moment on any given day. It should be comforting to know that the paramedics and firefighters within your community are equipped and ready to respond when you make that call. Occasionally, the size and scale of an emergency can overwhelm the fire department. Who knows when a bridge may collapse or a hotel high-rise may catch on fire? Who knows when severe weather will strike and what the needs of the first responders in that community will be as they try to address multiple simultaneous community emergencies. Simultaneous calls for emergency services or large-scale disasters can quickly exhaust the day-to-day staffing of the fire department. Over 60 years ago, fire chiefs and elected officials from several Oakland and Wayne County municipalities collaborated to form a fire department mutual aid group known as OAKWAY. The purpose of the OAKWAY Mutual Aid Group was to lend emergency fire services across jurisdictional boundaries in the event of a disaster or multiple alarm fire. The current member communities of OAKWAY are the cities of Birmingham, Ferndale, Madison Heights, Royal Oak, Southfield, Waterford, Bloomfield, and West Bloomfield. All of these communities have career fire departments that are able to lend assistance to each other around the clock. Since 1955, the role of the fire department has expanded from fire suppression and prevention within our communities to include emergency medical services, hazardous material response, technical rescue including ice, water, trench, collapse, high angle, and confined space rescue. OAKWAY communities contain infrastructure that include hospitals, high-rise buildings, government complexes, railroads, chemical plants, expressways, high-pressure gas pipelines, the Oakland International Airport, and expansive natural resources including miles of hiking trails, winding streams and rivers, and crystal clear lakes. More than 450,000 residents call our communities home. Many others from southeastern Michigan come to visit our communities to work and play.
Along with complex infrastructures to protect, the Oakway cities have vibrant downtowns and civic centers that draw thousands of shoppers, theater patrons, and festival attendees. In Royal Oak, we host Shakespeare in the Park, Arts Beats and Eats, and many other events during the year. The Woodward Dream Cruise attracts as many as 1.5 million car enthusiasts extending from Pontiac through Birmingham, Royal Oak, and into Ferndale. The hotels and motels are filled to capacity during that week. Because of the large increase of population during these events, our Oakway fire departments are on alert for an increase in emergency calls because of auto accidents, fires, medical emergencies, or even mass casualty situations.
Imagine the number of firefighters needed to perform search and rescue operations at a high-rise apartment complex in the middle of the night.
Not every department can have enough manpower to deal with every single run that comes in their community. You have to depend on the mutual aid, and it's a very important, it's a critical piece of this whole Oakway system. So again, it brings lots of confidence and security knowing that we have that resource, again, at a phone call, neighboring communities coming in to help assist us with our issues.
With today's staffing levels, we're prepared to handle the initial alarm. But today's fire service, every fire call, every structure fire that we received, we're calling on Oakway to come back us up with additional staffing.
Oakway has been indispensable for us as a smaller city, especially with the cutbacks in the last few years. So we've used Oakway several times. In fact, nowadays just about every fire we have of any substantial size or hazmat, we have Oakway there.
Simultaneous calls for emergency services or large-scale disasters can quickly exhaust the day-to-day staffing of the fire department. Multi-layered emergency scenes like a hazardous chemical spill require personnel with special training and equipment, and a higher degree of incident command. While emergencies like these are not frequent, The fire department leadership is responsible for ensuring that a large, well-trained, well-equipped response is made in a timely fashion. Faced with the responsibility of assuring the safety of all these residents and visitors, the Oakway Fire Chiefs meet regularly to discuss issues of interest, assess operational readiness, maintain open lines of communication, and most importantly, plan for the worst-case scenario.
It was over time that the chiefs far before me began to develop the association more into teamwork and more into looking into the future in terms of not just using it for when I need you to help me on a fire, but more on putting trainings together that would service all 8 communities, bringing a consortium of people together to buy equipment. Instead of buying, each department buying their own piece of equipment in terms of gloves, helmets, coats, that type of stuff, we can go out and price out one glove for the entire group and see if we can get better prices. So the economies of scale were there.
Each one of our member communities has received and or delivered mutual aid to another member community.
About a year and a half ago, we had a big fire at a buffing compound facility which uses animal fats. And we had just about every Oakway city there, minus maybe the Bloomfields. And without that, we probably wouldn't have been able to extinguish a fire because it was quite a hot and intense fire just with the animal fat burning. So it was a definite need for a lot more manpower and a lot more equipment than what we have.
When we have a large incident that overwhelms us, we can call on Oakway, and it's great to be able to hear the sirens and know that these trucks are coming. I recall an incident in Pontiac where we had an incident that we weren't sure what was going on inside a big commercial structure, and I called for mutual aid with Oakway, and just to see those trucks come in and know that guys that we've trained with, guys that we've interacted with, have arrived on scene and they know what to do. They know our guys, and it's a great relief for us in knowing that they're there for us when we need them.
So this is an ongoing, not weekly or monthly responses. These are almost daily requests that we receive and other communities receive for Oakway Mutual Aid. Even a large residential fire can outdo what the resources that we have. We have homes in our community that are above 8,000 square feet. This is the size of a commercial building. Many storefront buildings are probably 1,000 to 1,500 square feet. Having local communities that we have an agreement with through Oakway show up on scene and be able to put to work is absolutely huge for our department.
What it costs to be in Oakway is $5,000, but that doesn't even come close to the value that we get. It's a very minor contribution that we make to the Mutual Aid Association. The value we get out is tremendous. The quality services, the staffing, the equipment, and the highly trained firefighters that we're able to draw from Oakway.
There's no way any one single community could afford the resources that we're able to provide with Oakway. So the bang for the buck for the service that we are able to deliver to the citizens and visitors to the Oakway communities for what we invest is a significant advantage to all of our communities.
That $5,000 saves us well beyond a $5,000 number. It's a fantastic service for any community that's involved in it.
For Bloomfield Township to commit and pay $5,000 a year to get the resources of about 400 firefighters within the boundaries of Bloomfield Township to come help you at any time when you need it is it's very inexpensive insurance, absolutely.
Our firefighters train together, demonstrating their commitment to being prepared to work together when the time arises. Senior fire department staff coordinate training schedules, training topics, methods, and equipment needs. The Oakway Fire Chiefs plan, prepare, train, and communicate in a standard manner so crews can work together on an emergency scene, maximizing interoperability. Alone, any fire department can easily become overwhelmed by a multi-alarm fire or a large-scale natural disaster. But together, the Oakway Mutual Aid Partners provides resources, experience, and personnel to member communities in their greatest time of need.
An analogy of this would be, there's an old story that you can take a twig and break it easily, but if you get together 8 or 9 or 10 twigs together in a bundle and try and break those, it's very difficult. One fire department could easily become overwhelmed, but when we come together as a group, we bring strength and capability to the scene and a lot of backup that otherwise might not be available. What the citizens need to know is that there's a lot of depth brought to you here. Depth of experience, depth of capability that improves safety and survival in each community when we come together as a group. I believe that the city leaders, in their wisdom, have all agreed to bring their fire department resources together in this mutual aid agreement called OAKWAY.
We've covered a great deal of information in the few short minutes that we've had together. We hope you have a better understanding of how combining the unique resources and expertise of our fire departments create a safer community. Rest easy knowing that OAKWAY members are constantly training, planning, and preparing for when you need us most. Our ultimate goal is your safety.